I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about them.
This one's wife. The Hokey Cokey. Again. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. One of the things that you have doubtless noticed about this one's wife is her desire to always ensure that she's spoken about. This, of course, relates to the need to assert control and to draw fuel by way of response. This is particularly noticeable when it comes to a particular event, that she likes to cultivate conversation around the will she or won't she, vis-a-vis her attendance. In many instances, she has no intention whatsoever of attending, particularly in relation to events which are in the United Kingdom, because her narcissism perceives that it remains too hostile a place with too many threats to control, and therefore it's not worth her attending. It perceives that the British public, the British media and members of the royal family are so problematic that the only way to assert control over them is to stay in a position of withdrawal. Nevertheless, announcing, "No, I'm not coming," doesn't really get her very far with regard to fuel provision. And instead, because she's so thirsty for attention, i.e. fuel, what she likes to do is have lots of people speculating about whether she will attend or not. We saw that in relation to the funeral of Prince Philip. And of course, she had to make it all about her by creating speculation about whether she would attend or not. But on top of that, there was all the hoo-ha about the wreath, etc. So rather than it being about Prince Philip or the Queen mourning, it was all about this one's wife and her behaviour. At the Queen's funeral, she had to attend. She was already in the country when the Queen passed away, and therefore it was not possible for her to slink away. She therefore had to attend, and once again made it all about her, with her ridiculous curtsy and, of course, the faux tear. We saw once again the Hokey Cokey in relation to the King's coronation. Would she be coming? Would she not be coming? Would the children be attending, etc.? And, of course, all of the newspapers make mention of this, which is all fuel for her. Again, it's happening again. Harry is repeatedly written about with regard to wanting to return to the United Kingdom because he's homesick. It's also the case that this is made mention of the fact in relation to the fact that his father is unwell and his sister-in-law is unwell, and a certain desire to build bridges. The sceptical, of course, would really consider it as being based upon the fact that he's running out of money and that things haven't worked out for him in the United States, so he's coming back cap in hand, notwithstanding all of the shit that he's thrown at the royal family. There is an Invictus event coming up, which Harry is expected to attend, and therefore that has increased speculation about whether this one's wife will make an attendance also. And she's up to her old tricks once again. As reported in the Express by Catherine Mayer Funnell, this one's wife on the cusp of dramatic U-turn over major fear for Archie and Lilibet. This one's wife is said to be weighing up her options over whether to bring Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet over to the United Kingdom. This one's wife's fears over bringing Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet back to Britain, triangulation, have left her considering a total U-turn over their planned upcoming UK trip. She and Prince Harry had been expected to attend the Invictus Games' 10th anniversary celebration at St Paul's Cathedral on May the 8th, with some suggesting they could bring their children over to see their extended family. Now, pausing there, I do not anticipate for a second that she has said that she would attend. It might be the case that she'll let Harry off the leash to enable him to attend for a day or two. However, she's not going to attend. Why would she bother? She'll go to the Invictus events in other countries, so she can make it all about this one's wife games. But once again, her narcissism will be saying to her, if you go to the United Kingdom, you're going to be met with a hostile reception. Most of the populace doesn't like you, the press certainly doesn't like you, and indeed members of the royal family don't like you. There's no point in going. It'll be too much of a threat to control. It will be far better to address that threat to control by not attending. Thus, I do not believe for a moment that she has ever planned to attend this event. However, as a consequence of her need to control the readership and to draw fuel, although she has no intention of going, she plays the hokey cokey and makes it sound like she might be coming, and then she's not coming, but then she might be coming, and then she's not coming. This time, she's using the Invisikids to triangulate as a purported reason for not attending. The article continues by explaining, since King Charles and Princess Kate revealed their battles with cancer, the Duke of Sussex is reportedly more keen than ever to patch things up with the royals. However, for this one's wife, she is less sure about spending more time in the United Kingdom, particularly after the date of the service was published, causing her to have doubts over her children's safety. This, of course, is an attempted pity play and melodrama from this one's wife. The children are perfectly safe. Nobody's going to harm them. But of course the paranoia of this one's wife suggests that there are legions of middle-aged white women armed with tins of tomatoes ready to hurl them at her and her children. A source told OK magazine, it's now got to the point where this one's wife doesn't want to come to the United Kingdom with the children. She just doesn't feel safe. It's not a question of her safety, but more a question of the fact that she knows that she'll be booed. She knows that she'll receive a hostile reception. Nobody's going to attack her. Nobody's that bothered. Nobody's that stupid. The article continues. The situation is now about whether the family should attend with increased security or Harry should go it alone. Once again, it's a rather transparent attempt by the Sussexes to raise the question of security and getting it paid for, showing what a pair of entitled so-and-sos they are. Harry has reportedly begged his wife to reconsider her stance, pleading with her, "I don't want to do this alone." The source claimed, Harry doesn't want to keep making solo trips to the United Kingdom. He would prefer it if the entire family made regular visits to see his family and build bridges. But there is so much going on behind the scenes that it just isn't possible at the moment. Both Harry and this one's wife were planning to come to the UK, but when the exact time and date of their appearance were made public, she started to rethink that idea. If Archie and Lilibet do come back to the United Kingdom, it will only be if this one's wife decides to return too, an insider source explained to the Daily Express. They said, the children's attendance is still up in the air because they will only visit the UK if their mother decides to attend. Harry is hoping they will join him so that they can all enjoy the service and everyone can meet up with members of his family while they are over. Lilibet has only visited the UK once since her birth for Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Last May, this one's wife opted not to travel to London for the coronation of the King and Queen Camilla, supposedly because the date clashed with Archie's 4th birthday. This year, the family reported planning a birthday bash for him on May the 6th before flying to the UK on May the 7th for the service and staying in a secret location. King Charles will undoubtedly be keen to be reunited with his grandchildren, with royal commentator Michael Cole telling GB News, I think the King feels hurt by the fact that he doesn't see his grandchildren in California. Well, it will be a threat to control. It would be quite natural for any man to wish to see his grandchildren. I don't for a moment think that this one's wife has ever intended to come to the United Kingdom because of the threats to control that are posed that I've mentioned on so many occasions. But she wants to make it sound like she's coming, and what she also wants to do is make the drama by way of a pity play to suggest the reason I'm not coming is because you've announced the actual date that I'll be there, and I'm really worried about lunatics attacking my family. There are no lunatics who are going to attack her family. There might be people that would boo her and her husband, but nobody's bothered in causing any problems for children should they attend. Once again, it shows the way that she exploits her children for her own purposes, the grasping grifter trying to get her security paid for by complaining about security concerns. She has no intention of coming to the United Kingdom. Her narcissism deems that it would not be in her best interest to do so. Instead, she creates this idea that she was going to come were it not for the fact that the behaviour of the people would cause a problem, that she wants to dole out the pity play and make it seem like once again she's the victim of forces, dark forces unknown. But she never had any intention of coming, but she has to do the hokey cokey once again in order to keep herself in the news, in order to keep herself receiving responses. What do people below the line think? Beanie70 writes, worried about security? Nah, more likely she doesn't want the bad publicity when the citizens of the UK publicly display their dislike of her. Absolutely. It is not a surprise whatsoever. Crazy Lady 57 writes, nothing to do with feeling safe. They live in gun-toting America, for goodness sake. Doesn't get any worse than that. She knows she's ruffled too many feathers here. Tim Schmal replies, well, that and the kids aren't real. Special retreat? Well, let's face it, it can be very embarrassing and frightening when meeting the in-laws you've just slagged off and tried to ruin, especially when they are royalty. If she's worried about security, she can arrive by Traitor's Gate and spend some time in the Tower of London. Should be safe there, love. Chris137, it's a load of nonsense. The only thing she's trying to avoid is getting booed, and this is the useful excuse. Lincolnshire poacher, Princess Anne continued to go out after a kidnap attempt. Queen had 4 attempts on her life. She didn't stay home. Happy Kid says she just wants the big entourage to let everyone know that she's here. More Sense adds, in grifters not willing to pay for the extra security, Harry? Or is this PR blackmail to try and force the hand of the government to pay for your wife's over-the-top ego entitlement? Or trying to blackmail Daddy into paying for you? Pay for your own private security, Harry. Even better, you and your family should stay in Los Angeles. No one wants you here. Penguins, will she, won't she, who cares? Another person identifying as I have, the Hokey Cokey. Give the stint to a real war hero who'll do their utmost behind the scenes, unlike these two. Auntie Frisia, disabled veterans whose lives were horrifically and permanently altered in war deserve so much better than being relegated to an afterthought with regard to the Invictus Games. The fact is, she won't attend because her narcissism recognises that she's not wanted, and instead she makes it an excuse based upon security as an attempt to make out that she's at some kind of risk, to dole out a pity play, and an attempt to extract and extort that residual benefit of paid security. She's obvious, she's transparent, and we know all of this because we understand it through her narcissism. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.